Man, oh man, was I really dreading coming on here on air and talking about the Yankees Game 5 loss in the ALDS, which actually happened a few hours ago, about 2 hours ago at the time I'm recording this. And if you guys saw my last video, of course, I did a Game 5 ALDS prediction, and I predicted the Yankees to win. I expected Cole to come out dominant, pitch dominant, and the Yankees to give him a little bit of run support, just enough to win this game. And of course, the prolific Yankees offense, we thought that was going to be possible. It wasn't. Cole did come out and pitch incredibly well. And he did everything you would want him to do. Exactly how he pitched tonight was why you signed him to that insane contract. You want him to come out in the biggest games and pitch like that. Hats off to Cole. He's a competitor. He pitched amazingly well. He got him some jams, but he got himself out of it, and he seemed like the only Yankee that was like pumped and present. And the frustrating part for me as a Yankees fan following that loss is not that we lost. I mean, that's frustrating as hell, but it just seemed like the Rays wanted it more. I don't know why. That shouldn't be the case, but it just felt like the Rays wanted it more. And that was the most frustrating part. As such a prolific offense, to come out there and score one run in the biggest game of the season is just, it's a tough pill to swallow, But hats off to the Rays. I mean, that team, you could tell wanted it. I'm going to be rooting for them to beat the Astros. I'd root for anyone to beat the Astros. But I really wanted to see my team. I wanted to see the Yankees get there and, defeat them ourselves. But it just wasn't in the cards. I mean, like I said before, you couldn't get much of a better start from Garrett Cole. And credit to Glasnow, he pitched well. I think the Rays made the right decision, or I thought when they announced last night that they were going to go with Glasnow instead of Snell, that it was the right decision. Just because the Yankees are such a righty-laden lineup, that Glasnow would be better suited to face us. And he was. And he also just looked much sharper in Game 2 than Snell did in Game 1. And I wasn't necessarily scared as a fan to see my lineup face Blake Snell. I thought the Yankees could have done way more damage against Blake Snell than they did against Glasnow. And I think Kevin Cash and the Rays organization knew the same thing, and they ended up going with Glasnow, and it paid off for them. I mean, their bullpen was great. Diego Castillo is insanely good. I mean, he made Giancarlo look silly. He made Luke Voit look silly, and again, I try to be as unbiased as possible. And watching that Luke Voit at bat, I mean, I can't watch that final Luke Voit at bat and think that he should win MVP. And I understand that it's a regular season award, and he played great in the regular season, but I never thought that he should have been the front runner for MVP at any point in the season. I think he was able to step up because there were injuries to key players, and he slid into that spot where he was able to produce. But I think DJ LeMahieu is the MVP of this team, of the Yankees, and I think he was the MVP. If there was an MVP coming out of the Yankees organization, it should have been LeMahieu. But regardless, Diego Castillo made Giancarlo look like he was a Little League player. Same thing with Voit. Urshela hit the ball hard in the ninth, but um, they made a great play there and ended the game. But just really disappointing. I just felt like, and I don't know if it's just me, but man, I miss Didi Gregorius, man, because I know in the biggest games or any games when Didi was on the field or in the dugout, even when we were losing, there was a sort of energy there. There was a want there, and there's not that type of. There's no guy like that in our locker in our clubhouse anymore. Judge is great. He's a superstar and all, great dude, very respectful, but he's not like an energizing guy. Like he's not fun. And that may sound crazy, but you need those type of fun, energetic guys in the clubhouse to rile everyone up and feel like there's a sense of purpose to play. Stan is the same thing. I think when Stanton is healthy, like in the beginning of the season, before he got hurt, Stanton looked more dominant than any player I've seen my entire life watching baseball, and that's been around 14 years. Stanton looked dominant, but he's also not that type of guy. Neither is Gleyber Torres, neither is LeMahieu, neither is Voit, neither is Cole, neither is Chapman, Britton, you name it. We don't have that guy in the lineup. Urshela, If there's anything, I think anyone who's close to that, it's Clint Frazier, but I mean, that's a stretch. We don't have that swagger, that excitement, and we lacked that. And I don't know if it's an Aaron Boone thing. Maybe it's a managerial thing. But just a very heartbreaking loss for me and all other Yankees fans. But again, being completely unbiased, we didn't deserve this win. The Rays played harder. They wanted it more. They played a great game. And Chapman let up the go ahead home run again. And I'm not saying that Chapman's fault. I mean, he pitched good for the majority of the playoffs, but at a certain point, I always thought Chapman was just a very predictable pitcher. I mean, he's dominant. His fastball is as unhittable as it gets in the league, but he's also predictable. I mean, he really throws a slider and a fastball and sometimes a changeup, but that's really all he needs. At least that's what we think. That's a perception, but is it? Did you see how, Michael Brousseau just sat back on that fastball because he knew it was coming and ripped it? It's just a matter of time, I feel like, with the Aroldis Chapman. Time in and out that he's just going to let up that big hit because, there's not much of a deception game going on when he's pitching. It's like, I'm coming right at you, and you're either going to hit it or you won't. And when they do hit it, it ends up, doing some real damage. So I think there's a lot of things that need to change within this organization moving forward. With a team and a lineup and a bullpen and a starting rotation like this, like I understand Severino was not playing. I think that's a big deal. But there still needs to be changes made. Like this team should have been in the ALCS. This team, the way it's constructed on paper, should have won the American League. And the fact that they didn't, changes need to be made. I don't know if it's at the managerial level. I don't know if we need to bring, some more clubhouse guys in. I don't know if we need another starting pitcher. What the case may be. I mean, maybe we need to play a little more small ball. In games like this where we could barely make contact with the ball, maybe we need to play a little small ball so we can, get some things going without having to square up a ball and have it leave the park. We need to be multidimensional offensively. We're too one-dimensional offensively. Like I said in my last video, the Yankees are very live or die by the home run. And the Rays, and I understand that the Rays won by the home run as well in this game. But we saw in the series that they were able to manufacture runs in other ways. And it mattered the most, and the biggest difference I think came when, the Rays were on the base path. Like on the bases, they were disruptive. And there's no semblance of that on with the Yankees. So again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Hats off to the Rays. I hope they beat the Astros in the ALCS, and regardless, I think whatever team comes out of the National League will win this year's World Series. But yeah, I mean, Yankees, we need to make some changes, and I hope they come soon, and I hope they are game changing.